Michael Yow Show.
I want to talk about the book, Never Split the Difference. Like I said, it's a game changer for me, but I want to take people back that might not know you or have not read the book yet. You were a negotiator, but how'd you get, how were you as a kid? Did you know you wanted to be a negotiator? Did it kind of just fall into your lap? How does a person go about this?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I look back. I mean, I grew up in a small town. I was, small town in Iowa, middle class entrepreneurial family. I think we were always about problem solving. My father was very much a figure it out yourself kind of guy, and get stuff done. So I think I always naturally leaned in that direction. And when I found out that communication, human communication, negotiation was a great way to solve just like all kinds of problems, I stumbled into it a little bit at a time, and I'd see people that were effective at it, and I'm like, all right, this is a better way of doing this. And one thing led to another, and I'm on your show.
Yeah. So was it tough to move up the ranks, like compared to other jobs? Is it tough to move up the ranks as a negotiator?
No, not if you're into it. And you need some luck with the environment, but I happen to believe that the environment is pretty permissive anyway. Fortune favors the bold, if you will. That doesn't mean that your strategies will always work out. It just means that good strategies work out most of the time. And we live in a Las Vegas world. You want to gamble at the table where the odds are in your favor. So I was always after it, and I didn't know it at the time, but that was one of the big criteria within my hostage negotiation world. They were looking for people that would get after it on their own. And you get dropped into the middle of a country, you got to negotiate a kidnapping. You don't need to wait for people's permission to do stuff because this clock is ticking. You need to get after it. So they needed to look for people that were willing to be very self-initiated on their own and also be very coachable. And I was always both things.
So when you become a negotiator, and I would imagine like at anything, you make a lot of mistakes at the beginning. But the mistakes you make as a negotiator at the beginning can mean death to someone. So how do you deal with that pressure?
Well, you learn that, first of all, you learn two things. Best chance of success. You learn a process that gives you the best chance of success, which by definition means it's not infallible. And if you got the process, you spend the time to learn the process. And then the other thing too is the straw that broke the camel's back, to use that euphemism, that phrase. The straw didn't break the camel's back by itself. It was an accumulation of things. So if you're reading the environment and you're looking for accumulation, chances are a single mistake is not going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Now, when you go into these negotiations, who has the upper hand before it even starts? Is it you, or is it the people that are holding somebody, or is it the person that holds some type of power that you may want or you may want to crack?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, leverage is in the eye of the beholder, and we don't even talk about leverage that much anymore. We talk about influence. And I can remember one of my professors at Harvard once said, it doesn't matter what leverage they have on you. What matters is what they think of the leverage you have on them. And then it becomes a really psychological concept, which really boils down to what you think matters is probably not what they think matters. So you got to figure out what they think matters and then play in that game. And that's how you get the upper hand. Example, terrorists. The lives don't matter. The publicity does. As soon as you start thinking about what are they trying to get with their publicity, if there's good publicity, there's bad publicity. How do you figure out what they think is bad? I remember way back when I saw terrorists, when they were angry at a group, they would call them cowards. Like plenty of Islamic terrorist groups that were always calling the Israeli cowards. And I was like, ooh, that must get under their skin. If we can get a way to make the media call them cowards, that'll be the game changer. And it was.